I think of Tino, I think about a man who's passionate about, making Georgia successful. I think about someone who has represented us well. I think about a person based in Atlanta who's a national leader.
Tino's ability to really focus in on finding that common thing that everyone wants to achieve, and then organizing a plan around that to make it successful was an innate ability I think Tino had that facilitated a great deal of the growth of TAG.
He saw that there were people out there in this community committed to growing the technology market and industry, that state leaders were behind him, and I think he saw the challenge and opportunity to bring all these people together in one coalesced organization, the Technology Association of Georgia. And by goodness, if he didn't do it. Around 2004, the technology community here was probably going through what you might characterize as a restart. And it had been a situation where the dot-com era had fallen apart, and we had a lot of turmoil that was taking place, not just here, but frankly throughout the technology community in the United States.
You got to remember, we were post kind of dot-com.
It was coming out of a real depression at that time.
The internet bubble was sort of a once-in-a-generation event, and then the aftermath was a once-in-a-generation event, and TAG was dealing with that.
TAG was actually in a bad financial situation.
Financials were a big concern. I think there were probably only 2 events during a given year.
We were trying to determine, frankly, whether TAG could survive.
We really were in a situation where we had, again, a number of good people that were leading the organization and leading TAG, but we also realized that we needed to have someone that could really bring us to the next level.
Fortunately, we had a great board. We had good people thinking about those critical decisions, but the key was we needed a leader who could guide TAG through really the aftermath of the internet bubble, but more importantly, back onto a growth trajectory.
So a search committee was formed.
People collaborate, they solve big problems, and they innovate.
And so we were very fortunate that Tino Mantella was the man that was chosen for that purpose.
People rely on us. We're the place that people connect.
Tino is one of these people that when he commits to something, he's all in.
And so when we hired Tino, TAG was actually more like a turnaround situation.
And I think what Tino found when he got here was that if he had to take a little less in the way of compensation, if he had to come in and set a mandate in order to get the kind of commitment he needed, that was what he was going to do. He really displayed remarkable leadership ability. And we were at a pivotal time, and we could have gone either one direction, which would have been the demise of the organization, and we would have basically fractured into individual organizations that would have never been of the stature of TAG, or we could go in a direction to basically say, let's bring all these groups together. Even though that was a harder challenge to take, Tino took the harder road, but the one that he knew was going to be in the best interest of our technology community.
You know, what I saw Tino do is, first of all, he had a different philosophy and a different vision of what TAG should be.
I think if there's a legacy for TAG and a legacy for Tino, it will be taking an organization that was struggling, getting that organization on firm footing with larger sponsors and larger membership bases, and allowing for significant growth.
There's a point in the life of any successful CEO where they sit back and wonder, what's the next chapter going to be? And I think you can look and see what Tino did with TAG and building that organization, 30,000 members, bringing together the tech community, the business community, the government leaders in Georgia. the success that he's enjoyed, the people that he has had in his organization that he's grown. And I think you can say, someone like that probably is looking at another chapter. He's got a lot of opportunities ahead of him. So it didn't surprise me when I heard that Tino was thinking about other opportunities. I know he's going to find great success in whatever he does, but I think the other thing that it tells us is he understands that the next generation needs to come into play. We need to bring new leadership on. That it's not just about Tino, but it's a legacy that goes beyond that he's helped to create. A foundation that will allow Georgia to catapult itself even further into a global leadership role in technology.
Tino, working with you for the last 12 years has been absolutely incredible. I think you're a great guy. I think what you've done for this city has been remarkable.
Tino, I personally want to thank you for your involvement in TAG. You have been a tremendous leader. You have been a great example for your board as well as your staff and what it means to be a doer and to get things done. Thank you for that. This organization would not exist today without you. I firmly believe it. And the impact that you've had on many members, many sponsors, and frankly, board members has been tremendous. So thank you for everything you've done. I look forward to staying in touch with you as you enter the next chapter of your life. And it has been a pleasure working with you for the last 12 years.
Tino, you've been a good friend. You've been a great leader of TAG. You have shown us what the technology industry in Atlanta can do and what it should do. And for that, we'll be eternally grateful to you. Thanks for a great job.
Thank you for being a great leader for TAG. Thank you for moving Georgia farther along than anyone in this particular space that I could name. Thank you for being a great friend. Thank you for being a mentor. Most importantly, what are you doing next?
Interestingly, the desire was really to find somebody not necessarily that had great technology knowledge, but somebody that had a great vision for how we could grow the Technology Association of Georgia.